welcome to Craft Along with Creative Chicken. Today I'm creating some artists trading cards. I'm starting by creating a background on some simple white stamping card and blending onto it 3 colours of my distress inks. Once I cover the card with ink, I just spritzed on some water and allowed that to dry to create a lovely mottled effect in the background. As you can see, you can speed up the drying with a heat tool, or you can just allow it to dry naturally. I then went back to the 3 colours I'd originally used on my card, chose one of the colours and applied it through one of my Holtz layering stencils using my blending tool. I then repeated this process using the other 2 colours and 2 more layering stencils from Holtz. After drying off my card using my heat tool, I was then ready to start cutting it up to make my artist trading cards. A traditional artist trading card measures 64mm by 89mm or 6.4 centimeters by 8.9. So I just trimmed these sizes using my guillotine. From the A5 piece of card I started with, I ended up with 4 ATCs and a few offcuts, which I'm sure I'll manage to find use for later. I then decided I wanted to add some stamp text, so I used a VersaFine pad, and I believe that stamp came from an indigo blue stamp set. Using another small indigo blue stamp and my VersaFine ink again, I added some black flourishes to my ATC before drying them off using my heat tool. So once I'd finished the backgrounds of the cards, I decided I wanted to give them a shiny plasticise effect. I simply took each card and covered it with Versamark ink by stamping the pad directly onto the front of the card. I then used some Stampendous Detail Clear embossing powder on the card and heat embossed to give that lovely shiny plasticky effect. Next I began working on the focal points of my cards. So just as I did originally for the backgrounds, I took 3 colours of distress ink and blended those onto a piece of stamping card. Once I'd covered the piece of card, I blended again the same colours through some Holtz layering stencils just to add a bit of detail to the backgrounds. I selected a different stencil for each of the 3 colours as I applied them. Once I was happy with the background effect, I simply spritzed some water on, allowed that to dry to get a mottled effect, and then cut the piece of card up into rectangles. I made sure that each rectangle was small enough to fit on my ATC card. These were the bases of my houses. From the remaining cardstock, I cut triangles to make roofs and then stamped some texture using VersaFine and indigo blue stamps. So next I delved into my stash of washi tape, picked out a couple of designs, and I used those to create edges around the roofs of my houses. POSCA pen and drew on the doors and the windows. Just scribbly quick sketches do. After all, we just want these to be quirky. They're not meant to be architectural wonders. I quickly attached the roofs to the houses with a PVA before going to my big chat from Tim Holtz and picking out 4 words that I thought I wanted to use on my ATC cards. I then decided I wanted to plasticize the words, so just as I did with the backgrounds of the ATC cards, I coated the front of each word with Versamark and then heat embossed using Stampendous Detail Clear embossing powder. When you're heat embossing something as small as this, it is always a good idea to either hold it with the end of your scissors or with a pair of tweezers, because it will get very hot and we don't want you to burn your fingers. Once I had the words heat embossed, it was time to attach the houses and the words to the ATC card. I used double-sided tape for this because I found that if you use a wet glue such as PVA on something which has been coated with heat embossing, then it will just slide around and get a bit messy. And there we have our 4 ATC cards finished. Hope you've enjoyed crafting along with the Creative Chicken. Please give us a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye!